Hello, and welcome to your customized project workbook. This variable workbook was created to allow multiple parameters designed to fit the majority of client needs. As the end user, you will be asked to select your number of overtime rates, the multiplier for each of these overtime rates, and the number of equipment lines needed per operator during a 2-week period. In order to provide these parameters, it is important that you review both your payroll policy and your disaster timesheets and equipment logs. These instructions will help you successfully navigate this workbook. At the bottom of the Start Here tab is a simple checkbox. In order to activate your customized workbook, you must check this box indicating that you have read and understand these basic instructions. With your overtime rates and equipment usage needs in hand, click the Begin Workbook command button. A user form to create your customized workbook will appear. Begin by selecting the number of overtime rates from the drop-down menu provided. Next, select the number of equipment lines per operator from this drop-down menu. Now begin populating your overtime multipliers in the corresponding boxes. Notice the default selection for OT1 is set to 1.5 or time and a half. Once these selections have been made, click the Create command button. The customized sheets necessary to complete your project workbook have now been created. Please note that tab names will vary based on the number of overtime rates and equipment lines you have selected. You must now return to the Start Here sheet in order to begin your workbook. Beginning with the applicant name box located in cell D28, enter the following information: name, FIPS number if known, disaster number, and project number. Now enter your FEMA category in cell D41 using the drop-down box provided. This box is vital to the correct calculation of rates for your project. You must not begin entering labor until the proper category is selected. Next, select your submission type using the drop-down box located in cell D44. Select either partial, indicating that work is incomplete, or 100% complete, indicating that all work is complete and ready for closeout. Finally, fill in the date range of your project in cell D47. This is the period covered for your project. Remember, if you have any questions regarding these entries, please consult with your MEMA Programs Coordinator. Once the information on your Start Here sheet has been completed, continue to scroll down the Start Here tab to the individual instructions sections. Remember, tab names will vary based on the custom parameters you selected when you created your workbook. For the Payroll Record tab, determine if you will be using your individual employee benefits or choosing the average fringe benefits. If you elect to use the average fringe benefits, select the Yes box located in cell K7 of the Payroll Record tab. Once selected, turn your attention to the Fringe tab of your workbook. Begin this sheet by entering your total annual payroll in the box located in cell F9. Remember, this sheet is only necessary if you have elected yes, you will be using the average fringe benefit for each employee. Next, beginning with holidays, enter the requested information in each of the boxes located in column E. Helpful notes for each entry can be seen by selecting the appropriate cell. The percentage this represents of regular time pay will be automatically calculated and populated into column G. The current Social Security and Medicare rates as of April 2020 are 6.2% and 1.45% respectively. These figures are located in the unlocked cells G20 and G22. This allows the end user to adjust or delete these amounts as required. You must also indicate in column J, cells J20 and J22 respectively, if the Social Security and Medicare benefits are to be applied to the overtime fringe rate. Please enter only a Y or N to indicate your response. Other responses will not result in the rates being properly calculated as depicted in this slide. Continuing in column E, enter the requested information in each of the remaining boxes. You must also populate column J with the required Y or N response to indicate if these benefits are to be applied to the overtime fringe rate. Once completed, the total average fringe benefit is automatically calculated and applied to the calculations within the Payroll Records tab. Remember, the Fringe tab is only utilized if you have selected the Yes box located in cell K7 of the Payroll Record tab. Returning to the Payroll Records tab, if you are utilizing average fringe benefits, fill out columns B through E for each employee. Title in column C is optional, but does assist in validating payroll rates. Status, located in column D, is required in order to properly calculate hours eligible for reimbursement. If you wish to calculate the individual fringe benefits for each employee, you will also need to fill in columns F through P with the applicable information per employee. If calculating individual fringe benefits, confirm the Yes box located in cell K7 is not checked. This sheet is equipped with a command button that creates additional pre-populated entry lines, complete with the calculations for your selected overtime rates. Use this command button to add lines in increments of 10 as necessary. You should next enter your equipment inventory. Moving to the Equipment Inventory tab, begin by entering the make, model number, horsepower, capacity or size, and the FEMA cost code for each piece of equipment. Utilize the operator drop-down list located in column C to assign an operator to each piece of equipment. If more than one employee operates the same piece of equipment, it will be necessary to list this equipment for each individual operator. Once the identifying information is entered, the current FEMA cost code rate will populate into column I. This information will then be linked by operator to the OT Equip tab. This Equipment Inventory tab is providing two command buttons. The first command button creates additional pre-populated entry lines complete with calculations and links in order to correctly calculate your eligible disaster cost. Use this command button to add lines in increments of 20 as necessary. The second command button generates a properly formatted, labeled, and sequenced PDF file. This file is generated into the same location in which the workbook resides. A random number suffix is attached to the file name in order to allow unlimited PDF files to be created. Simply rename the file as needed. Now that the payroll record, fringe where applicable, and equipment inventory tabs have been created, you are ready to begin entering labor and equipment hours. These sheets are named OT2 Equip 3 or a variation of that based upon the parameters defined when you created the workbook. The first step is to enter the date in cell H7 using the first Sunday of the first week of work following the month/day/year format. Next, Use the drop-down menu in column B to select the employee. Employee rows are designated in pale yellow. This drop-down menu is linked to your payroll record sheet. Payroll rates with fringe, position, and employee status are automatically populated. Now, use the drop-down menu in column B in the immediate group of rows following to select the equipment utilized by this employee for the designated 2-week time frame. Equipment rows are designated in pale green in column B. Note that it may take a second or two for this drop-down menu to populate. However, this cross-validation feature will limit errors and effort searching for the proper equipment utilized by the specified employee. Associated cost codes and rates will automatically populate in the appropriate rows for column F. Hours are entered in columns H through U in quarter-hour increments using the 0.25, 0.50, and 0.75 format. Hours eligible for reimbursement are calculated based on employee status and FEMA category of work. Costs are totaled by page for the entire workbook at the bottom of each sheet. This tab is also equipped with 2 command buttons. The first command button creates additional pre-populated sheets, complete with calculations and links in order to correctly calculate your disaster cost eligible for reimbursement. Use this command button to add sheets as needed. Each sheet can support a different 2-week time frame or continue the previously established time frame. Dates will need to be set for each sheet. The second command button generates the properly formatted, labeled, and sequenced file. In the unlikely event that you discover a need for a different set of overtime rates and/or equipment usage lines, you can simply return to the Start Here tab of the workbook and use the command button to create an additional set of pages within this workbook. There's no need to re-enter previous records. Just utilize the newly defined sheets to add in the affected employees. A new set of tabs will be created, including payroll record, equipment inventory, labor equipment totals, and OT sheets. You will need to follow the preceding steps to fill out both your new payroll record and your new equipment inventory. These sheets will link to the OT equipment sheets where you will enter timesheets, equipment usage, logs, and employees subject to the secondary set of parameters. All eligible costs are rolled up into the final cost summary tab. No additional calculations are required. In addition to the overtime usage and equipment-specific sheets within this workbook, there are 3 generalized sheets for capturing costs: contracts, materials, and rentals. Each of these tabs are equipped with 2 command buttons. The first adds additional pre-populated sheets, complete with calculations and links in order to correctly calculate your eligible disaster cost. Use this command button to add sheets as needed. Each sheet will provide a sheet total and a grand total at the bottom of the sheet. The second command button generates the properly formatted, labeled, and sequenced PDF file. Finally, all eligible costs from your customized workbook are then rolled up into the final cost summary tab. Each category is then totaled, then compiled into a grand total. Eligible straight time hours are separated out from overtime hours for an ease in validation. This page is also equipped with a PDF command button for your convenience. Remember, if you have any questions regarding this workbook, please reach out to your MEMA Programs Coordinator. Thank you for your time and have a good day.